What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about truck camping and what you actually need to go truck camping, and then everything else that's a luxury or can be upgraded later on. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share a couple different sources that I've used to save a lot of money on gear. So stick around if you want to see that, and let's get into it. The really big thing that I do want to stress a lot is try not to listen to what other people say is necessary if it makes you feel like you don't belong. First thing, and probably the main thing that you'll need if you want to go truck camping, truck. But you could also just do car camping or van camping or whatever. Like if you just want to go vehicle camping, you can do that with pretty much anything. But for like truck camping and overlanding, stuff like that, it can really help out to have four-wheel drive, which most trucks do have, a little higher clearance, which again, most trucks do have. But I mean, you can also get a 4Runner, you can get an Explorer, you can get all kinds of different vehicles that can do the exact same thing. But for truck camping specifically, just by the name, truck. The next pretty big thing that you will definitely need is some kind of sleep system. This is my couch. It pulls out into a bed. This is my sleep system. This is what I sleep on. Whether it be a cot and a sleeping bag, or you can even just do like a sleeping pad on the bed of your truck. That'd be fine too. But some kind of sleep system is going to be pretty important. If you don't get good sleep, you're not going to associate truck camping with having a good time. You're going to say, this sucked. This is miserable. I didn't sleep great at all. The next thing that is pretty important, some kind of shelter, and preferably something that's waterproof. If you have a truck cap, or if you're just going car camping, you're kind of set already. But for me, I have a roof. That's my shelter. Like this whole building, this little house that I have here is my shelter. I've had 2 different truck caps for 2 different campers. So you don't need this. You can have this, and it's the exact same thing. The next thing that you will need is some kind of way to make food. This is a Eureka camp stove. It's pretty fancy, I think. Like they're normally $130, I think, and I got this one for like 80 bucks. And again, I'll talk about how I got it so cheap later on in the video, but this is not the first stove that I had. When I was in my simpler builds, I had a very simple Coleman stove. It was like 40 bucks or something, and it didn't have any fancy bells and whistles. This one has the like electric click start thing, and that's huge and very luxurious and very nice. But you don't need that. You can manage with a lot less. If you have a backpacking stove, you can use that. Like that's totally fine. Some people use jet boils, and that's all you really need. And piggybacking off of making food, storing food is also pretty important. For a long time, I had a lifetime cooler from Walmart. It was like a 28 quart or something, and it was great. Like they're all like the really fancy brands and stuff, and you don't really need that. Like, yeah, if you can afford it and you want like the top of the line stuff, whatever, go for it. But I didn't have the money for it. I still don't want to spend the money on it. And even the fridge that I have right now is a less expensive brand than like the big brands like Dometic. This is like a fraction of the price, and it works fine. But yeah, if you have just a regular cooler, or if you just do dry food, even like you don't even need a cooler, just like somewhere to like have your food. It's really nice to have everything be kind of like separated. Something else that can be kind of nice, especially if you're going to be off grid a lot, or if you're in the middle of nowhere, some kind of communication device not hooked to cell service. This one is probably going to be expensive. Tools and know-how. Know how to work on your rig. Now, this one's going to be a little bit niche and more geared toward like if you're spending a lot of time in a camper, some kind of entertainment. So like I have my Switch, and I have some books, and I have YouTube as kind of a hobby. Hopefully a job at some point. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way. You know, having some kind of hobby or something to kind of occupy your mind if you're living in a camper, or if you're just like going on a really long trip and you might kind of have a lot of downtime. I also have YouTube Premium, which I really recommend because you can download videos and watch it offline. Plus, you don't have to watch ads. The next one is maybe a bit more important than you might think. Privacy. Something like window blinds or Reflectix cutouts for the windows here. Having privacy is kind of a nice thing, especially if you have to truck camp in the city, or when there's just a lot of people around, like if you're at a public campsite and you have to change clothes, or if you just kind of don't want to be on display, you know, especially in something like this, like it's a literal house on the back of a truck. People stop and stare pretty often, which is really cool. But at the same time, you know, if I'm in here going to the bathroom, I don't really want the windows open, you know? Something else that's pretty important, water. Stay hydrated. Like, that's it, just stay hydrated. Having water is really nice just for cooking, drinking, cleaning. Like, you kind of use it for a lot of things, and especially if you're going to be out for a long time, having water with you is huge. The next thing, I am going to show you an example of a luxury and then talk about a cheaper alternative. A battery, or in my current case, batteries. Having a way to charge your phone is pretty big, especially because in a lot of cases, a phone can be kind of a lifesaver. This one might be a little bit obvious, but I still want to mention it. Something I really recommend doing too is having clothes that works for whatever environment you're going to be in, but also having a backup. Let's say your clothes get soaked and it's super cold outside. Having a backup pair of clothes is going to be huge. So that's pretty much it for my opinion of things that you kind of actually need to go truck camping. And now we're going to talk about how to make that very luxurious. Instead of a cooler, get a fridge. I got this one from a company called Bouge RV. The Dometic one for the same size was $1,300 or $1,500 or something. Bouge RV fridge was $400. So that was pretty sick. Instead of a small battery pack that can fit in your pocket, get something like this. Something else that is definitely a luxury, and it goes with batteries like this, like a Jackery or Yeti or whatever, is a solar panel. So this is just a 100-watt panel from Renogy, and it's been great, but it's a luxury. Like, I truly think it's a luxury. Something you can do if you want to get a battery like this and you don't want to spend a lot of money on it. There's a website that I'll link down below, but it's Goal Zero Open Box. It's basically the display models that are used in like REI or Shields or Bass Pro or whatever. I'm pretty sure they refurbish all of the batteries and just make sure that it's pretty much back to how it came off the factory line. They even include the box and instructions for what I understand, but it can be, you know, up to 50% off, maybe even more. And that's a really solid way to save a lot of money and have something that's definitely a luxury. And now for the best way that I would recommend saving money on overall gear and even just clothes and stuff. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. None of these companies know that I'm even talking about them. I'm not being paid to like get you to go to these places. The first one is a website called Steep and Cheap. It's brand new stuff. It's not used. It's super inexpensive in a lot of cases. They don't have every size of everything if you're looking at like shoes or clothes in general. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, or if you feel like you got anything out of it, definitely feel free to hit that like button down below. It does help out a lot. If you want to help out even more and hang out and watch truck camping videos, hit the subscribe button, and then little bell notification next to it. It's going to let you know anytime that I do upload, but I try to upload once every week, and I try to upload Saturday around noon. If you guys have any truck camping advice that might help someone get into it, or even people like me that have been doing it for a while, you might have advice that could change my entire life. So leave it down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you all, and I'll see you in the next one.